Welcome to Timeless Photos. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss more videos like this one.
The Wem Ghost Girl. When photographer Tony O'Rahilly took pictures of the Wem Town Hall fire in 1995, he didn't expect to capture anything unusual. But after developing his film, one photo showed a young girl in old-fashioned clothes standing in the flames, staring directly at the camera. O'Rahilly always maintained he never altered the photograph, which became known as the Wem Ghost. Last photo of Abigail Williams. The murders of Abigail Williams and Liberty German, known as the Delphi murders, happened on February 13, 2017 in Delphi, Indiana. Their bodies were found near the Monon High Bridge Trail after they disappeared while hiking. The case received massive media attention partly because of video and audio recordings from Liberty's phone, which captured the person believed to be the killer. After 5 years, Richard M. Allen was arrested in 2022, found guilty in 2024, and sentenced to 130 years in prison. 1924 Mount Everest expedition. Photos from 1924 show climbers George Mallory and Sandy Irvine before they attempted to summit Mount Everest. Shortly after this photo was taken, the pair made their final push toward the peak, never to return alive. Mallory's body wasn't discovered until 1999, 75 years after he vanished. Irvine's remains have still never been found. The Zhuanan County sinkhole ecosystem. While not traditionally mysterious like paranormal photos, images of the vast sinkhole in Zhuanan County, China, reveal something truly extraordinary. This enormous natural formation, over 290 meters deep, houses a unique ecosystem of ancient trees, plants, and animals. The humid climate and sunlight reaching the bottom create an extraordinary environment largely untouched by humans. These photographs give us a glimpse into a hidden world that exists beyond normal human experience. Mark Jackson's basketball card. In the background of the 1990-91 Hoops Mark Jackson basketball card, you can spot the Menendez brothers sitting courtside at a New York Knicks game. What makes this creepy is that the card was printed shortly after Lyle and Eric Menendez had murdered their parents, but before they were arrested. The Salem UFOs. On July 16, 1952, Coast Guard personnel in Salem, Massachusetts, witnessed and photographed what they described as 4 elliptical blobs of light in formation. The sighting sparked significant interest when Coast Guard seaman Shell Alpert and Coast Guardsman Thomas Flaherty, both stationed at the Salem base, observed and photographed these mysterious objects. The case was ultimately considered unexplained by Project Blue Book. The Phoenix Lights. The Phoenix Lights were a series of widely observed, unidentified flying objects seen over Arizona and Nevada on March 13, 1997. Witnesses reported seeing lights in varying formations between 7:30 p.m. and 10:30 p.m., covering about 300 miles from the Nevada border through Phoenix to the edge of Tucson. Some described what appeared to be a huge carpenter's square-shaped UFO containing 5 spherical lights. Mysterious doctor outfits during the plague. In the 1600s, doctors treating plague patients wore distinctive, often terrifying outfits that included a beak-like mask filled with herbs and a long waxed coat. These costumes were based on the prevailing miasma theory that diseases were caused by bad air. The herbs and spices in the beak were believed to purify the air they breathed. The costume's actual effectiveness in protecting doctors was limited, making these historical medical outfits both fascinating and somewhat disturbing to modern viewers. The original Michelin Man. Bibendum, commonly known as the Michelin Man, is one of the world's oldest trademarks still in use today. The original version looks quite different from the friendly character we know now. Introduced at the Lyon exhibition of 1894, the original Michelin Man was a humanoid figure consisting of stacked white tires that appeared much more imposing than today's version. The 2,800-year-old kiss. The 2,800-year-old kiss refers to the discovery of 2 human skeletons found in a unique position at the Tepe Hassanlu archaeological site in Iran. Discovered in 1972, the male and female skeletons appear to be embracing or kissing, leading to their nickname, Hassanlu lovers. Dating back to around 800 BC, raises questions about the lives and relationships of the couple and the circumstances of their death. The mysterious disappearance of the Sodder children. On Christmas Eve 1945, a fire ignited the Sodder family home in West Virginia. George and Jenny Sodder, along with 4 of their 9 children, managed to escape, but the other 5 children were never found. Officials declared the children dead in the blaze, but the surviving family members firmly believed they had survived. Despite extensive searches and investigations, the case remains unsolved, with theories ranging from kidnapping to deliberate arson. The Dyatlov Pass Incident. In February 1959, 9 experienced Soviet hikers died mysteriously in the northern Ural Mountains. Led by Igor Dyatlov, the group cut their tent from the inside and fled without proper clothing despite freezing temperatures. Search parties found their bodies scattered across the area, some with severe injuries including fractured skulls and missing eyes or tongues. The official Soviet investigation concluded they died due to a compelling unknown force. Modern scientists have proposed a slab avalanche as the likely cause, but despite numerous investigations, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of history's strangest mysteries. The Tamam Shud case. The Tamam Shud case, also known as the Somerton Man case, involves an unidentified man found dead on Somerton Beach in 1948. The man wore a suit and tie, had no identification, and forensic examiners suspected poisoning. A scrap of paper with the Persian phrase Tamam Shud, meaning finished or ended, was found in his pocket, torn from a copy of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. This case remained unsolved for decades until 2022, when researchers used DNA from hairs on his death mask to identify him as Carl Webb. The Mary Celeste. The Mary Celeste became a famous ghost ship after being found adrift and deserted in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872. The crew and captain's family had mysteriously vanished, leaving behind personal belongings and a ship that was still seaworthy. Theories ranged from mutiny and pirate attacks to giant sea monsters, while more scientific explanations suggested an explosion from fumes in the ship's cargo of crude alcohol. Contemporary reports, like those in the Boston Post of February 1873, suggested piracy, citing blood found on board and missing articles. Photographs of Amelia Earhart's last flight. In 1937, Amelia Earhart and navigator Fred Noonan disappeared during their attempt to complete the first woman's circumnavigational flight of the globe. Flying a Lockheed Model 10E Electra, they were last seen in Lae, New Guinea before their planned refueling stop at Howland Island in the Pacific Ocean. It's generally believed they ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean near their destination. Photos from their final takeoff have become historical artifacts of this mystery, and Earhart was officially declared dead nearly 18 months after her disappearance. The Black Dahlia Murder. In 1947, the murder of Elizabeth Short, nicknamed the Black Dahlia, became one of America's most infamous unsolved cases. The 22-year-old aspiring actress was found brutally murdered in Los Angeles on January 15th. She earned her nickname from the press due to her rumored preference for black clothing. Despite FBI involvement and intense media attention, the killer was never found. The case remains notorious for its gruesome crime scene photographs and continues to fascinate the public. The Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines in southern Peru are massive geoglyphs created by the ancient Nazca culture between 500 BCE and 500 CE. These enormous designs, depicting various animals, plants, and geometric shapes, were made by removing the darker top layer of desert soil to reveal lighter-colored sand beneath. The exact purpose of these impressive creations remains a mystery, with theories ranging from religious ceremonies to astronomical markers. The Whitechapel Murders. Jack the Ripper was an unidentified serial killer who terrorized London's Whitechapel district in 1888. Also called the Whitechapel Murderer and Leather Apron, he typically targeted women working as prostitutes in the East End. His victims' throats were cut before abdominal mutilations, and the removal of internal organs suggested some anatomical knowledge. The 5 victims, Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly, were murdered between August and November 1888. The JonBenet Ramsey case. JonBenet Ramsey, a 6-year-old child beauty queen, was killed in her family's Boulder, Colorado home on December 25, 1996. Her body was found in the basement about 7 hours after she was reported missing. She had suffered a fractured skull and a garrote was tied around her neck. The case garnered worldwide attention, partly because her mother, Patsy Ramsey, a former beauty queen, had entered JonBenet into multiple child beauty pageants. Despite extensive investigation, the case remains unsolved.